So, today Netflix released a new trailer for Daredevil Season 2. Why did I take so long to say that? But yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I haven't really talked about Daredevil Season 2 a lot since pretty much the initial cast, the initial tongue-tied. The initial casting for Frank Castle, which was John Bernthal, who I always said would make a great Punisher, and ta-da, he's now the Punisher. So, I didn't talk about the first trailer, like the teaser trailer, because there wasn't really much there. I just thought it looked cool. That's all I could say about it, was that it looked really frickin' cool. But I really think there was a lot more to talk about in here, so that's what I'm gonna do. Because, there's quite a few things to talk about, really, in this trailer. There's quite a few things to talk about with this, and it just blows my mind. It's kind of funny, because this kind of hits, this trailer hits a lot of the same beats as the Batman-Superman trailer. And I'm not saying it because two heroes are fighting. It's because, well, yeah, it's not just because of, well, it is kind of two heroes fighting, but it kind of hits the same beats as the trailers we've seen from Batman v Superman. The character has created the fall, one character, Daredevil, much like Superman, has created the fallout that has caused the creation of the Punisher, or, in the Superman-Batman case, Batman to come out of retirement. So yeah, it's kind of like you've created the situation for this other character to be born, or in Batman's case, reborn. So, it does kind of feel like, yeah, you're this vigilante, I need to take you down, and I need to keep my city safe, and I cannot cross that line. Well, we've got a character who can cross that line. I'm not saying Batman can't cross that line, he won't, but it's kind of the same. You can't help but feel, I can't be the only one watching this trailer and be like, yeah, this trailer could have been like a Batman-Superman trailer. Oh, man. It's not that I don't want to stir up shit like, oh, Marvel's better than DC, or DC's better than Marvel. I don't want to say that, because, guys, we should be all celebrating. Really, we should. Because this is probably the biggest amount of comic book movies we've gotten in years. Really. Like, when was the last time we had a lot of comic book movies? I want to say, like, 08? No, not 08, I think 2010 was like the last big year. No, 2013 was the last big year for comics, and for multiple comic book movies. I mean, and then in here we have, this year is going to be chock full of comic book movies. We should be celebrating, guys. Not just in movies, but also in television. I say we ride this gravy train for as long as it goes, because we don't know how long just like Steven Spielberg said, one day it's going to go the way of the Western, so let's ride this gravy boat together, not against one another. So, when I heard the news that, that Daredevil Season 2 is coming out the same month, and I think actually a week earlier than Batman v Superman, I was like, oh boy, a same month where I can watch Batman and Superman finally meet, along with Wonder Woman, in the same fucking movie? And also, I get to see Punisher and Daredevil actually meet in a gritty TV show? Oh boy! Someone tug my dick, it's Christmas! That's what I was like. And that's what I feel like everyone should have been like. Yeah. So, that's kind of my thing, is that, I'm more excited than I am like, oh, but yeah, if you were to ask me, like, what I'm gonna see first, well, fucking obviously it's going to be Daredevil Season 2 because it comes out a week earlier. But yeah, I actually the more I think about it, the more I just, because Daredevil Season 1 really broke some ground. And a lot of people say, oh, Deadpool was the movie that broke a lot of ground. And I was like, nah, Netflix, I think Jessica Jones did it, but for TV shows. I think Daredevil and Jessica Jones prove that you can do dark, gritty stuff with superheroes in other genres. Deadpool just kicked open the door, even though we've had R-rated movies before. We've had, obviously, the Sci-Fi Man-Thing movie, we've had the Blade trilogy, and we've had, the 2004 Punisher movie, as well as Warzone, which are both R-rated films. But getting back to this, and I'm sorry I went on that little rant, but yeah, this is really cool. I think it's interesting because the trailer just delivers, because we don't really see any villains. We really don't. it's just going to be, as one of the producers promised, it's just going to be Daredevil and Punisher beating the shit out of each other in a majority of the show. That's what it's going to be, Daredevil versus Punisher, the TV show. And it looks like they're dealing a lot with the Frank Miller and Garth Ennis stuff in here, and I'm really hoping we can get a, I know this has been rumored a lot, but I'm really hoping after this season, we can get a Netflix Punisher show. I really want that. I really want a Netflix Punisher show. Honestly, I've always thought, I had a really good pick for Jigsaw too. It's completely lost. I've completely lost it, but I always had this really cool pick for Jigsaw for my casting for Jigsaw. But anyway, yeah, this also hits a lot of notes that this is a Punisher that is new. He's not like, I only kill bad guys. No, he's completely mentally unhinged. So this is like the birth of the Punisher. We're going to be seeing the origin story of Frank Castle becoming the Punisher in this season, and then hopefully they can go further into him becoming the Punisher in his own, hopefully when he gets his own Netflix show. I really think that's the big thing, is that, they just want to showcase the Punisher and be like, yeah, you guys want more of this? You do? Netflix series! That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. I really do like the scenes of we don't really get to see a lot of Punisher and Daredevil throwing down, but when we do, it's very brutal. It looks like it's going to be, it's not going to be like Batman versus Superman, obviously, where it's going to be superheroes doing all these tactics and shit. This is going to be really, grounded and gritty, and from the quick scene we saw of Matt and Frank just throwing down, it looks just dirty. It looks like it's just going to be, two guys just fighting over who's going to kill who. And I know, yeah, Daredevil has superpowers, but yeah, Punisher has taken on Daredevil and sometimes beaten him with just being a mortal man. And oh, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I thought I heard something. Anyway, but yeah, and you could say, oh, well, Batman's a mortal man, and he can take on Superman. Yeah, true, but Batman's like physically fit. He's trained himself in multiple forms of combat. Punisher is just a dude with guns and really good military training. He's just this very down to earth guy with a lot of guns and a lot of hate and a lot of special spec ops training. So when he's going up against all these superpowered beings, he doesn't really have like a gadget that can do that. It's like, oh, which gun can I use to hurt you the most? That's kind of what Frank's mindset is. It's not like with Batman where he'd be like, okay, which gadget can hurt you the most? With him, it's like, okay, which gun can hurt you the most? So, that's kind of the thing, is that I'm really excited for this. They really do play up the moral implications of, yeah, the Punisher in here is this just force of nature, and I'm really interested to see, now that Kingpin's gone, I really want to see, like, what's the fallout, because all the crime bosses are gone. The Russians are gone, the Triads are gone. The Hand is still around, kind of. But everyone else, Owlsley's dead. A lot of people are gone. The major players Fisk is in prison. A lot of the major players are pretty much in prison or dead. So, you've got all these uncontrolled gangs running around, and just these roving bands. It's kind of like in Legend of Korra when Zahir killed the Earth Queen, and it just made the situation worse. Society broke down. You had these roving bandits all across the Earth Kingdom. It's kind of like that. It's not like in the situation of you cut the head of the snake off and it dies. No, that's not how it goes here. It's not how it goes here. Now you've got all these uncontrolled bands, human trafficking, selling guns, selling drugs, all across Hell's Kitchen, and I really want to see if, like, Matt just stops and thinks, like, was it better off that if I didn't send Fisk to prison? And you have Punisher who's like, yeah, you should have. Or, you've got this one, these two different ideals, they have similar backgrounds when you really do think about it, but they have such drastically different ideals that that's the big thing with Punisher and Daredevil, is that, Daredevil is always caught between that gray area of the line. Punisher is like the guy tempting him. He's kind of like Palpatine to his Vader in a way. When you yeah. But really, I'm super excited for this. I cannot wait for Daredevil Season 2. I'm so happy it's coming out earlier than, summer, and, later on we're going to get the Luke Cage TV show. I am just super stoked for all this. I'm just really, there are no words other than I'm excited to see Punisher and Daredevil finally meet and fight on, in the same universe. All we need is Spider-Man, and then we've got the Street Trio. We've got the Street Marvel Trio. And that would be cool, seeing Punisher and, Spider-Man just show up. And I know, they're trying to make him a little more squeaky clean, but I would just love, one episode where Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man all just meet for the first time. That'd be great. Anyway. So you guys tell me, what did you all think of the Daredevil Season 2 trailer? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And where do you think they're going to go with Punisher? Because he doesn't look exactly stable, and there might be some human casualties there. Who knows? Maybe at the end of the series, this is how I kind of see how the end of the series will go, and I will not be mad if I'm right. Because, well, I'm right, and I love being right. No, I'm kidding. This is how I kind of predict the show, this season to end. Is that that Frank is beaten by Frank is beaten by Matt. Matt beats him in one last brutal fight, and Matt tells him all of this stuff of what he's doing is wrong. I'm paraphrasing here, but he can be a symbol. He can be better than he is, and Punisher kind of Frank kind of just sits back and thinks about it, then breaks out of prison, and you see him put on the skull shirt and be like, Punisher's War Journal, page 1. Boom! Boom! There you go. Right there. But oh god, I completely forgot to talk about Elektra. Dear Lord, what is wrong with me? I completely forgot to talk about Elektra. We get one scene of her, and I always forget that Elektra's going to be in here, because it's Punisher meeting Daredevil. But you have an excellent assassin in Matt's greatest love. You have Matt Murdock's, first and pretty much only love in here. And I'm really interested because, him and Karen are, very close. So I'm wondering where that's going to take. And the other thing is, another thing I've noticed in this show is that no one is safe. Did anyone expect Ben Urich to die? No. No. We didn't think Ben Urich was going to die. We didn't think Owlsley was going to die. So it makes you wonder, if your name isn't Daredevil, you are on the chopping block. And that's kind of the thing, is that we kind of expect Karen to die anyway, that's kind of her thing, is that she's one of Matt's loves, and she is, she's also, that's one of the two things. She's one of probably Matt's second greatest love, right behind Elektra. But you have Karen, who's a great love to her, to Matt, and she did I'm really hoping, the third season, we do an adaptation of Born Again. I think you could make an entire TV show, a TV season, out of Born Again. I really do think you could. And I think that's where you can kill off Karen. But who knows? Because, like I said, if your name's not Matt Murdock, at this point you're on the chopping block. I even feel like I'm scared for Foggy as well. So, not much else I can say about Elektra other than I'm really excited for her. We only got one quick scene of her, and I'm wondering if, the implications with more of the Hand, and, is she going to be tied in with Daredevil and Punisher's war against one another? So once again, you guys tell me, what do you guys think of all this? What do you guys think of Elektra finally being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? What do you think of Punisher and his origins? And how do you think this season's going to play out? Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this. Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say about all this. And I will see you guys later.